Hello, everyone. My name is Bapu Vaitla, and I'm running for Davis City Council in District 1. I'm running because I believe our community can be a model of social equity and environmental action. When we see what's happening at the global and national levels, it's hard not to feel despair and cynicism. The antidote is local action. Home is where we can make the greatest difference. Cities all over the world are showing, for example, that moving our economies away from dependence on fossil fuels is possible, that housing and food security and healthcare is possible. We can learn from the examples of other cities, and we ourselves in Davis can be an example. I want to talk about my three core values and how those values translate into specific policies. Equality of opportunity is a core value. I grew up in a low-income household. We weren't destitute, but we were dependent on public benefits from time to time. I know how hard life can be for families who don't know if they'll have enough money to pay the rent on the first of the month, who have to be very selective about what food they buy for their kids, who have to judge whether to take a sick child to the hospital, knowing that the bill is going to be overwhelming. From a policy perspective, the defining social justice issue of our age, especially in California, is housing. Housing for all, for our workforce, our teachers, firefighters, service workers that can't afford to live here, for low-income families, for the unhoused. Ecological resilience is another core value. My professional career is at the intersection of human well-being and the health of ecosystems. Our role as human beings is about more than ensuring that we don't degrade the environment. It's to be stewards of our watershed, responsible not just for the protection, but also for the regeneration of biodiversity, of soil, water, and air. The world is in a state of emergency. Climate change and its ecological impacts are existential issues. There's no more time to waste. My focus as a city council member will be immediate and powerful climate action to get our city to carbon neutrality through changes in transport, housing, and food systems. My third core value is cooperation. For the last 20 years, I've studied across the world about what drives good social change. Cooperation is always at the heart of processes that make life better. I want to help build in our city a civic spirit. I'm going to champion the creation of a community navigator workforce that helps build trusting relationships with the most vulnerable members of our community, the unhoused, low-income families, the elderly, at-risk children. I also have a plan to create a city lab, a durable partnership between the university and the city in which we pilot innovative, evidence-backed solutions together. And I have a plan for reform of city commissions, which are the volunteer bodies that advise city council on housing, social services, open space, natural resources, and other topics. I'll also fight for strong protections for workers through fair wage, healthcare access, and good faith bargaining laws. All these policies and the values on which these policies are based are rooted in the idea of interdependence. I was born in India and moved here when I was 4. I grew up in a working class neighborhood of Chicago and a highly segregated area of Los Angeles. I've worked across the world on child hunger, gender equality, and climate change initiatives. I did my bachelor's and master's at UC Davis, studying environmental ethics and sustainable agriculture. I did my PhD on the politics and economics of global child hunger. The most powerful lesson I've learned throughout all these experiences is that each person's well-being is intertwined with the well-being of every other person, and in fact, with the well-being of other species, of the natural world. This principle of interdependence is why I'm prioritizing affordable housing and climate action, and also why I'm prioritizing getting our community, all of us, more involved in government. The author James Baldwin once wrote, "The sea rises, the light fails, we cling to each other and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, the moment we break faith in one another, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out." This is a quote about interdependence, about the urgency of staying together. I'm running for city council because I want interdependence to be at the heart of every one of our public decisions. Thank you for your time, and I hope for your support.